So were you kind of like an account manager at that point in time then?
Yeah, exactly. I was an account manager, which is basically kind of what I'm doing now. So, all those years ago, kind of obviously I started out doing account management for other companies, and and now obviously I can, put that all that kind of experience to use with It's Easy and what I'm doing now.
Yeah, no, I was thinking just that, and I was going to loop back to it later on. But I mean, I guess what you're doing today is very similar. You're engaging with a client and then talking through all of that. Who's your target audience and what's their pain points? What do you actually want to tell them? And then putting that into a plan of how to then lay out the website. I guess is that pretty much the size of it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of dealing exactly with the client, finding out what it is they want or what they need. Um, some clients have a real strong creative vision. Others, are really kind of relaxed about what they want, and it's trying to get as much information about what they want and about their particular company and industry they work in. So then I can relay that back to the design team, and then the designer has a really clear idea then of what it is we're wanting to get out of the website, and not just the design but how the website flows, and who it targets.
So how long were you in the advertising industry for?
So as soon as I came out of finished my 4-year course, I started work for a smaller company, because I'd actually applied to the larger company, the larger advertising agency. I'd applied for their graduate scheme, but I didn't get in. So I went to a smaller agency, worked there for about 6 months, and I applied again to the one that I wanted to go for the graduate
Yeah,
scheme again. It was a really hard kind of process because, as you can imagine, with it being a big agency, there's a lot of graduates that want to get on the scheme, and there was several different. I remember there was like an assessment day, and then you had to go back and do a presentation and all this. Managed to get on it the second time I applied.
nice.
So after about 7 or 8 months, I moved over to the bigger agency, and I was there for. I think I was there for about 7 years, so quite a while. And then I ended up taking voluntary redundancy
Okay.
after those 7 years. I was, thinking of moving on at the time, and voluntary redundancy came up, and I just thought actually this is the perfect time for me to kind of go. So obviously you get a better package taking voluntary redundancy than you would if you were just to leave. So that's what I decided to do.
Cool. And what happened afterwards then? So did you go and find another job straight away? Did you take a bit of time out? What kind of was the next step for you?
So I took a little bit of time out just to kind of think about what I wanted to do, but also I was really keen to set up my own business by this point. I think I'd kind of felt like I'd had a great time, working in that kind of corporate environment, but I really kind of wanted to kind of try and go out on my own to have more flexibility.
Okay.
So I set up, it was a online travel business that focused a lot on accommodation in the UK, um, dog friendly accommodation. So it was, working in like a quite a niche area. Um, but back in those days, it was, there wasn't these kind of Wix websites where you kind of can, do a website really easily. I had to learn all the coding and build my own website.
Oh,
So I spent that time building all the kind of background to it, and the building the website, and setting the business up. And then so I kind of did that then for a few years until that was probably right up until I had my daughter, when then obviously things changed again because I'm kind of then got an extra responsibility, and had to
yeah.
kind of think about what I was going to do kind of post that.
So just going back to your business then, what I mean, did you have any fears going into setting up that business, and how did that kind of pan out once you got going with the business?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of kind of fears in terms of I'd never done it before. It was all an unknown of how much I was going to be able to kind of earn from it. And even though I had the kind of marketing experience, I didn't really have much experience in the travel side of things at that point. So yeah, there were a lot of unknowns, and I think the beauty of it was I had a bit of stability because I had the redundancy package that I didn't have to go straight into another job. So it did kind of make it a bit of an easier transition. Um, so yeah, there was obviously a lot of fears, but just having that extra flexibility just, you know, was amazing. And yeah, I think you always work longer hours as well when it's for yourself, when you're first setting something up, because it's your own thing and you want it to do well,
Yeah.
but you've got that motivation to put in because it's your own business and you're not working for somebody else.
Yeah. But was it a successful business?
It was. I mean, I'm not going to say it was the most successful business ever. It was kind of one of those businesses that it ticked over. It was, you know, gave me like a nice little kind of income, but I got to the point where I didn't really want to grow it anymore. Um, the website was quite clunky and hard to kind of update, and obviously things had moved on and things were moving on quite quickly, in the kind of tech side of things. Um, and yeah, I think it got to the point where I just thought this isn't really kind of maybe what I kind of want to do going forward. It was a kind of good interim, gave me kind of something to work towards, and gave me so much experience building my own business up as well. And even like the accounting side of things, which I'd never done before, having to do your own accounts and all
Yeah.
that, it kind of gave me so much from it. But yeah, I think I never kind of really maybe kind of gave it enough to make it, a long-term business. It was kind of a good interim for me really,
Yeah.
and kind of taught me, what I needed at that point. So I really needed the stability of finding you know, a regular income again. As much as I love acting, it's very difficult to have that
Yeah.
as a full-time career. So, you get bits and pieces, but it's not guaranteed income. So I needed guaranteed income because I was, having to move house. And so I decided, right, well, I need to really kind of find a job. What do I know? Marketing. Let's go back into marketing. So um, I managed to get a job in Manchester at a property company,
Okay.
doing marketing for them, and started working for them. And they had a couple of websites for their business. They had a few different arms to the business, so there was a few different sites, and it was very very frustrating basically working with the website designer. We could never get hold of him. If we wanted to change to the website, it could take weeks just to get an answer on email. We couldn't go in and make changes ourselves. If we did want to change, it would then be costly. So it was very frustrating.
Yeah.
Um, so we were at the point where we actually needed a new website for a different arm of the business. So one of the business owners knew of It's Easy because he'd met and worked with people that were franchisees of It's Easy in the past, from when he was based down in Milton Keynes. So he knew one of the franchisees quite well. So he said, I'll put you in touch with one of the It's Easy franchisees, and I'd recommend going and having the website done with them. So I was like, yeah, whatever, go have a chat with him, see what that's all about. And I actually, I absolutely fell in love with the whole process and the whole experience of it, and how easy it was to obviously first of all get the website up live and to what we wanted it to be, and then also the editing side of it, that we could go in and make changes ourselves. It was very very easy to work. It was really affordable as well. It wasn't really massive cost. And I'd never I've worked on, obviously throughout my marketing career, loads of different types of websites and content management systems,
Yeah.
and it was just by far the easiest one I'd ever dealt with. So yeah, I thought it was great. So um, leading on from that, we got to the point in the business where the business was changing. My kind of role as the marketing manager wasn't really needed anymore because of the whole change in the structure of the business. And at that point I was like, right, well, what is it I can do? And I was like, it's easy. I mean, Mike explained the franchise model to me of It's Easy and how it worked, because he knew of it from his past networking days. And I was like, this sounds great. I'm really interested in this. So we booked on a discovery day and went down to Torquay, did the discovery day, learnt more about It's Easy, and yeah, the rest is history. Kind of been been doing it now for 4 years.
Yeah, nice. So I mean, it's interesting that kind of stumbled across them, right? And not you didn't proactively go out there and think, right, I'm going to go and find and build a website company, and these are the options available to me and things like that. It's just the opportunity kind of appeared for you. But I guess being a client of theirs helps you to see it from the other side, the service level and the quality of the service, right, that you provide it. And then, like you said, probably the most important part is the back end of it. Um, but I'm still wondering. There must be some fears because with any franchise, you've got to put an investment in
Mhm.
up front, right? So did you have similar fears to when you first started about earning potential, or sorry, first started your other business around earnings potential, or did you feel more confident this time? I'm kind of just interested to see the comparison between the two, I guess.
Yeah, I was more obviously when I set up the business, the first business I set up, obviously there was no, franchise fee or anything like that, so there was less risk. But I felt more confident this time because it was a franchise. There was obviously other franchisees that we could talk to that had, been successful. They've got, all got successful businesses, so there's, that to kind of compare it against. We've got obviously had the support of head office, and I think that's what I kind of missed doing it all on my own. I didn't have that support of anyone else. Whereas this time, even though it's my own business, I've got the support of head office. If I need help with anything, they're only a phone call away. Whether it's helping chase money from someone, whether it's help with complicated coding that I don't understand, or complicated development things that we've got specialists in every field at head office. So you're not on your own. You've got that whole support team. So it's the best of both worlds, really, because you're in like a big business with all that kind of support and people to help you, but then you're also on your own. um you've got the flexibility of working at home. You're doing your own hours, so all that. And I think going back, so I've kind of drifted away from your actual question, but I think the fear of not earning the money, I knew we were going to earn the money back. It was just how long that was going to take.
Okay.
Because I knew that we had the skills to do it. Mike was going to help me with the sales side of things because that's his, forte. And then everything else was going to be kind of, on me. So we knew that we had the skills to do it. It was just how long is it going to take us to earn that franchise fee back? Obviously, that was our priority, to get that back as soon as possible. So
Yeah.
then, we could start actually earning money out of it.
So obviously you've invested. Um, you've got training then afterwards. I mean, all franchises have training where they show you all the kind of systems and how to operate the business. Um, with your experience though and background, and Mike's there to support you as well, was the training actually valuable? Like, I mean, a bit beyond kind of systems, was there what was the training like? I guess for someone like you with experience.
Yeah, I mean, it was really useful. It was, you know, very intense, which is what we kind of, needed. Full days of training each area of the business. So it wasn't just, training on the systems. It was training on the sales side of things, the cost side of things. We got trained on, even how to help market. And obviously, a lot of us, I think the thing is, obviously, a lot of franchisees have different skill sets and different experience. They've come from different industries. So whereas we kind of, Mike already knew about the sales. He probably didn't need the sales training, but I did, because I hadn't
Yeah.
really done any sales before. So it's, you kind of take out of it what you need. Even down to training on how to use social media to promote our businesses. So yeah, it was very comprehensive training week. I remember coming away going, wow, that's a lot of information, but obviously you need that to be able to start the business. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was really useful. Loads of things, we kind of needed to know. Obviously, there's a lot of systems that we needed to learn how to use. But yeah, it wasn't, it wasn't rushed or anything. It was thorough. We actually got to do our training week with another franchisee that had joined at the same time, so it wasn't just the
Oh,
two of
cool.
us. There was three of us on it, which was nice because we could kind of bounce ideas off each other.
It's like
So
your
yeah, it
first
was,
kind of
it was
mini support network within
yeah,
the franchise, isn't it? Because
yeah,
franchisors obviously they kind of show the path and all of those kind of things, but not every member of that team are living it like you are, and so it's nice to have someone there alongside you, I guess, living
Yeah,
that same experience, talking about each other's challenges and how you've overcome them, or just ask head office. They can tell you this bit. It's nice to be able to have that there, I guess, which is
yeah.
cool.
I mean, we're all, we're constantly kind of, you know, either picking up the phone to another franchisee, to kind of ask them, oh, what did you do about this? Or, there's obviously certain franchisees we know better than others that we'll kind of talk to. And then we've got an online tool as well where we can kind of post questions on a forum, which is really useful. And that gets used a lot. So it might be, for example, um, has anyone got experience in this integration, or has anyone got any examples of websites for plumbers? And we'll kind of chip in on the forum because it's just really useful, because obviously then head office don't have to be bothered, we can kind of help each other out.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Excellent. So after the training, then day one, let's say after the training, um, I know for some people that is like the weirdest, hardest day, because it's like, now it's on me to do something. What do I do? What did you do day one? What was your kind of day one as an It's Easy franchisee? After training, let's say.
um the week after we finished training, the whole country went into lockdown. So
Oh no.
I would say ours wasn't the most straightforward experience. So there was that moment of panic going, just bought a franchise and the whole country's just gone into lockdown.
Oh man.
So yeah, it was a very weird time. But on reflection, it actually worked really well for us, even though we were like, this might not be the best time to
In
be
what
setting up a
way?
business. Um, Obviously everyone was at home. We could get hold of people really easily. I decided I was just going to go off on LinkedIn and basically start trying to find clients, because obviously, that was our, we had to start finding clients for the business. So just kind of started getting on LinkedIn, trying to kind of connect with local businesses and talk to people. And what we found was, because people weren't in offices, they were at home, they had loads more free time. Whereas, something like a website would be something be usually at the bottom of their priority list. Now they actually had
Yeah.
time to go, actually, yeah, we do need a new website. We need to think about marketing. This is a good time. So we actually had, we found we had people's attention, which was great. And obviously we could do all of everything on Zoom. We didn't have to go and meet anyone. Everything could be done online. And obviously, with it being sorry, I've lost my train of thought. So yeah, obviously we could do it all online, and that was it. So I think because we were slightly a bit panicked because of the timing, we just put everything into it. We put so much effort into getting those clients, making those sales, and obviously you're motivated. I feel like you're never going to be as motivated as you are at the beginning, because you're motivated. You're like, right, we've just done this, we've just bought this franchise. We want to do really well. We want to make it
Time to
successful.
make
We
that
want to
money
make it
back.
more successful. We want to, show head office how good we are. So it's kind of that bit of competitive edge as well, to kind of show them, that we can do this and we're going to make loads of sales. And so yeah, we just knuckled down and worked really hard, and it really helped actually having. I mean, obviously there was two sides of it. Some people were like panicking, going, can't spend any money on marketing because I don't know if I'm going to have a business this time next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was, obviously not everyone was keen to kind of sit down and look at how they could kind of improve their marketing at this point. But there was definitely two camps. But yeah, I think it did. We kind of found the benefit of it, of having people at home and not, busy as they normally would be, if they were kind of in the office.
Yeah, sure. So, how long did it take you then to make the money back from the investment from the franchise fee?
So I think actually we've been the quickest franchisees to make our money back. So it only took us 6 months from starting to make the franchise fee back, which was better than we'd obviously done a business plan and worked out what we kind of thought was going to happen. And but yeah, it was better than we'd actually thought we were going to do. So
What did you think it was going to be?
I think I think we'd estimated about 9-10 months to get the franchise fee back, and that was with doing well. But
Yeah,
yeah, it only took 6 months. And it was quite a big feat to at the
it's,
time
it's awesome.
to
Yeah.
get back.
In my mind, for a lot of franchise brands, and not all of them, there's some that are it's different, right? They launch quite quickly because there's a demand in place, but especially white collar businesses, or where you're kind of more sitting behind a desk, that kind of thing. I tend to think it's 12 to 18 months for a lot of people. It tends to take to make that money back. So to do
Mm.
it in 6 months is amazing, really. It's pretty awesome, and I'm happy to hear you had a business plan as well, making sure you know what you're you're set out to achieve, because it's those KPIs. In those early days, you've got to make sure that you like you say, doing that outreach and getting
Yeah,
yourself out there, because it can be all too easy to sit there and expect the franchisor just to get the clients for you, right? And it's not how it works. So
yeah,
no, it's
absolutely.
amazing. Yeah. Cool. So are some of those clients still working with you today, or are they kind of like a one-off kind of thing? You've done the website and then kind of see you later kind of thing.
No, we've got a lot of our clients, majority of clients, still with us, because obviously the beauty with our model is it's not a kind of there's your website, off you go. We give them lifetime support, for the lifetime of their website. So, we have a lot of clients that, happy just to kind of, go off and do their own thing, where we have other clients that like that kind of constant support, and they'll phone us up for advice on other things. And because both of us have, a lot of marketing experience, we'll more than happily talk them through advice on other sides of marketing and, SEO. And, although we don't do that for them, we'll kind of talk it over with them, and, what's best for them to do as a business, and how they can kind of use that website, to get more leads. So it's a kind of it's an ongoing relationship, which is nice, because then you get to know your clients, really well. And we get kind of more referrals that way as well, because people get to know us, they like us, they like the way we work. So, and the customer service side is really important to us, to make sure that we give the best possible service possible, and then hopefully then people will refer us and recommend them to other people.
Cool. Yes, sounds good. And so the account manager role that you did back in the advertising days, is it similar to what you're doing today? Is that kind of those skill sets have pulled all the way through, and it's pretty much the same process, or are you having to get involved in some other elements? Like I think you said before, you didn't really enjoy getting on the back end of WordPress and sites like that. So do you have to get stuck into the back end here as well with that, with It's Easy, or is how does that kind of work?
So obviously, like, the client management is still the same thing, where we liaise with the client and then liaise with head office. So that's very similar, role. But with the It's Easy websites, I actually really enjoy going into the back end and doing, I'll help do little changes if clients need us to, and that's the bit I really really enjoy, because that's creative. And I think obviously I've got that creative side of me that likes that. If I can kind of help them design a new page, I will do. Obviously we've got our designers at head office, but if it's something quite simple, that's something that, I can kind of do for them or help the client do, then yeah, I actually really like that side of things. And the most exciting thing for me is when I get that website back from the designers, to see what it looks like, to see what they've created out of my brief that I've given them, to see what they've kind of come up with and see how it all looks. So yeah, I really enjoy that
But
creative
do you
side.
throw your own ideas in with the creative stuff? I mean, I know you've given a brief, but do you kind of almost prescribe how you want certain pages to look at times?
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll always have a session with the client once they've decided to come on board. I'll always have like an hour session, and I'll talk to them about what it is they want, and give them ideas. Because if they're not sure, I'll be like, "What about trying this? This might work really well." And a lot of the time, we'll kind of, what some clients want something really corporate looking, or some clients actually want it really looking really fun and quirky. So I'll talk through all those ideas of what it is they want and how they want the website to represent their business. And then obviously, if they're not too, if they're kind of quite relaxed and just happy to leave it to you, then I'll give my ideas, to the designer on what I think they kind of would like. But yes, obviously it can really depend on the client, how restrictive it is in terms of how creative we can kind of go.
Yeah.
But then obviously I want to give the designer, bit of creative license as well, because that's their job to come up with something that looks great and that works. So yeah, it's a bit of a team effort, really.
Cool. Nice. So, how long have you been running your business for now then? The It's Easy business?
So over 4 years. So we started in March 2020. So yeah,
Nice.
it's actually flown by.
And is it allowing you to pursue the acting side as well? Because you said that was something you was really keen to get into, did lots of courses. So are you still able to do that?
Yes, absolutely. Because because there's two of us, it's not just me on my own. I've got Mike to help me if I need to. It's great. We've got the flexibility to obviously work our own hours. So if I get a few days job on set filming, then I can easily go and do that. And the beauty of it is I can just wherever I take my laptop, I can work. So whether I'm sat in a doctor's waiting room or whether I'm on set or, whether I'm in the hairdressers, I can take my laptop and I can work from there. So, I love that flexibility. It's great. It's allowing me to still follow my dream of what I want to do, but it's a stable job. It's a fun job. It's something I enjoy. It brings in the money, and also allows me to kind of pick my daughter up from school and all those kind of side of things that if I was still in an office that I would struggle to do.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. But I'm kind of chuckling, imagining you getting your hair cut or whatever, and typing away on the laptop.
Oh, every time, honestly, because my hair appointments take about 4 hours. I on every time I take my laptop with me and I just sit there doing work. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, our main client base is small businesses. It suits the It's Easy model perfectly. We do have some slightly larger businesses, but mainly it's small to medium sized businesses. So anything from we work with a lot of trades, so plumbers, electricians, gardeners, those kind of things. And then we also work for some bigger companies. Like we've got a recruitment company that's just opened up their second office, so they're doing really well. A few IT companies we work with. But yeah, there's a range, but yeah, the smaller business just is really the perfect kind of fit for our model because our websites are so affordable. Um, they're not, they're so easy to edit if they wanted to go and edit themselves. There's no, they're not kind of complex.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's local, small, medium-sized businesses.
Nice. So, um, last question about your your business now. So 4 years have passed. I'm assuming you probably do it all again, right? Like if you could go back, is it something you would do, or would the COVID thing put you off doing investing again?
No, absolutely, I would do it all again. It it was. I mean, our first year was amazing. We had an amazing first year, so the COVID thing would definitely not put me off. If anything, I think it helped us get through that initial lockdown because we had something to focus on and something to work on, and we had a purpose to our day. We weren't just getting up going, what we're going to do today, another day in lockdown. We were like, right, we've got a business to build. So it was really, really actually probably helped us and motivated us. So definitely, yeah,
Fantastic.
definitely do it again.
I said the last question. I've got another one. So what does the future hold for your business?
Keep going, keep growing. So we'll have our 5-year review next year, and that at that point, that's when we kind of decide whether we want to obviously keep going with the business. But yeah, I think I'm really happy with how it's going. I love the business model that we get recurring income. It's the way it is you have a small upfront fee, but then you pay a monthly direct debit for your website, which builds obviously that recurring income up. Obviously, the more clients that we get, the more that kind of goes up. And yeah, and I enjoy being busy, so I think I thrive off being busy. So if it wasn't busy, then I would need something else to do. And obviously, my acting bits and pieces kind of come and go, but that's not going to keep me busy, 7 days a week. Not 7 days a week, 5 days a week. Not
Yeah.
working 7 days a week. But yeah, just the more clients we get in, we get I mean, and we've got some great relationships with our clients as well. So it's definitely something that I want to keep going with. And yeah, I'd be interested. I think the thing is as well, what's interesting with the industry that we're in is it's always evolving. There's always something
Yeah.
new happening, and our head office is always coming up with new developments to the systems that we use, and there's always new things to learn in terms of what SEO can be done. And, you know, like the launch of AI recently, this is massive now. It's had a massive effect on our industry, and people, it's so much easier now to get people to give us content for their websites because they can just use AI rather than having to, you know, always rely on copywriting. And yeah, so it's exciting because it's always something, you know, new and
Yeah.
something new to be built.
Yeah, I love the digital marketing sort of arena for that reason. It's just
Yeah.
constantly evolving and exciting, isn't it? And stuff, like you say, something new to learn. So no, I get that completely. And AI, I could probably talk to you about that for a lot more detail, but we haven't got so much time today. So, do you have any proud or inspiring moments from your career?
So definitely it has to be, obviously I mentioned we had a great first year in this franchise business, and at the end of that first year, I'd applied for an award scheme, which was Franchisee Woman of the Year, and I got down to the finals. Unfortunately, the ceremony was online, so I didn't get to go to any glam ceremony because we were still in COVID times, so it was all done online. But yeah, I won Franchisee Woman of the Year 2021. So
Wow.
yeah.
I know a lot of franchisees that have applied for those things, and it's a tough one to win. So yeah, should be really proud of that, and it's really cool. Nice. So my final question then is: if you were sitting in front of somebody who's thinking about investing in a franchise, and you're only allowed to give them one piece of advice, what would that one piece of advice be?
Just go for it. Just, yeah, I would say just absolutely go for it. You know, there's obviously so many benefits to joining a franchise, and I think you don't probably realize until you're actually in it and you start working as a franchisee, you know, how it can completely, you know, give you kind of so much more freedom and flexibility in your life. But yeah, just go for it. If, you know, as long as you've done the research and you know what you're getting into, and you've researched that particular company, then yeah, go for it.
Gemma, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a real pleasure to speak with you and get to know your story. So good to hear the business is doing well, and yeah, look forward to kind of keeping track and seeing how you continue to get on. And yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay, thanks.
It's Easy franchisees come from a wide variety of backgrounds. You don't have to be a web designer or digital marketing expert. If you enjoy meeting people, building relationships, and have a desire to start and grow a successful business, then get in touch now.